Here we are, guys, the old 1995 legend at the center with two of its most famous flankers on either side. On this corner of the ring we got JPG, JeanPaulGaultier, Le Mal Le Parfum. You can see the price sticker is still there. That'll be about say $75 US dollars thereabouts. And on this corner we have Ultra Male JPG, another legend. This one came, if I'm not mistaken, in the year 2015. Also the price range in US dollars, as I mentioned earlier, about say 75 thereabouts US dollar. So we'll be talking about them individually and then how they compare to the OGs. Now these two flankers are considered the most, if you look at the various reviews by many reviewers, right, these two are considered to be the most famous, or the most is there such a term as winningest of them all? There's so many flankers. I think people have lost count already on the number of flankers, but most people agree that these two, the one on the left is more for night party due to the added sweetiness, extra sweetiness, whereas the right is a more versatile, all-round perfume that can be used in most environments. And the OG is of course the OG, maybe for more older gentlemen. And I would say that the Le Parfum is definitely, I would say it's an improvement over the original winning formula of lavender vanilla. It doesn't have much of a mint, but the lavender vanilla key note is present throughout most of the JPG Le Mal series. All right. When I was chatting with the salespeople, as I tend to do, the person mentioned that the Flow Le Mal, the white color one, was one of their pet favorites. They loved that floral element, although it was still masculine, that floral orange blossom element of it, but for whatever reason they discontinued. Sometimes I guess because usually we would think that people will discontinue line due to lack of sales, but in the perfume world oftentimes it can be due to the ingredients becoming either, let's say, the legal aspect of it, you can't use it anymore, or if I'm not mistaken, I think oak moss at one point was said you can't use oak moss anymore, and even musk animal sauce things, I think in relation to the YSL Kuros was mentioned. So yeah, this kind of complicated reasons, sometimes ownership change and whatnot, can lead to a line being discontinued, even very popular, very favorite mixers lah. So this is one of those painful things for the fragrance fans out there, because what you love now, whether we like it or not, might not be able to be continued in the same form. But the big bad habit that most fragrance fans have to break is that being too nostalgic, it's not like the one I bought it 10 years ago, 20 years ago and whatnot, but rather enjoy the newer version of it, which is sometimes genuinely better. They refine it to modern taste, and sometimes if you genuinely don't like it, just move on to get another signature scent, signature perfume, and so then you can continue having a nice experience with your fragrances, rather than always thinking about the past, right? So this is just my intro, and then later we will look at each of them. The Ultra Mile, I am thinking whether to open it or not, or just to review it, because I already smelled it at the mall, so I know the smell, and I definitely got a bunch of perfume I can wear anywhere I go. So now the thing is whether to keep it for posterity, to be some kind of unopened can for me to maybe just, it's either I might open it 10 years down the line, or just to leave it as it is, but I'm not sure if anybody knows about it. Do comment whether the ingredients, right, it's got lots of pear and all these spices and whatnot, and whether the vanilla and all that will last if you were to keep it in a cool and dry place, let's say for 20 years. Would it get spoiled, or would it last? I don't know. So maybe if you guys can give me some info, then I will decide whether I want to uh, unpackage the Ultramal or not, because I hear it is there's a possibility of it being discontinued, and so I might decide to just and also the fact that La Parfum is a more versatile scent for daytime use compared to the more sweetish Ultramal. I most definitely will open and use and see if this can become my signature scent over time, and sort of just keep this as for posterity. So would appreciate your thoughts on that. So after this we go to each of them one by one. All right. Okay guys, here goes the unbox. I again repeat, the unbox review of Ultra Male. The reason it's unbox is because I've already smelled it, tested it way back when I've been to the mall, and also when I bought this, I smelled it again to get all the opening note, the dry down and everything. So I'm deliberating whether to keep this can, as it were, in its original condition for my own. Maybe I'll open it a few years down the line if it doesn't get spoiled. I need to find out whether it will stay unspoiled if I were to keep it for, let's say, 20 years. So that's my sort of thought about it. But anyway, I can what do you call it, in other words, still review it because I have smelled it, right? So I can still do that. So basically, this was launched in the year 2015 under the nose of Francis Kurkdjian, legendary perfumer. He now has his own branded perfumes as well. Okay, so let's move forward with the notes first. The top notes are pear, lavender, mint and bergamot, and pear is said to be contributing to its very sweet opening, and this is why it's said to be perfect for clubbing and might not be so suitable for office or daytime use compared to the La Parfum, the black bottle with the golden neck, which is more versatile and a more modern interpretation of the original JPG Lamal. I'll put the original one also here so that you can sort of get a feel. It's the same bottle, it's just that the color, as you can see on the right, it's got a dark blue color, right? So now to the mid notes is cinnamon, caraway, clary sage, and followed by a base of black vanilla, amber, patchouli, and cedar. All right. I was chatting with the salespeople, and they said that for people who are new to the fragrance game, young people, they tend to jump on the Ultra Male bandwagon, whereas those who have used the original, the OG, launched in 1995, they tend to gravitate towards the La Parfum black bottle. So this is the pattern that they're seeing, and there are some people who criticize this as being too sweet, but I think maybe they never smell Paco Rabanne 1 million or Paco Rabanne Excess Black, which I think are quite sweet, at least to my nose. Right now, we must remember the blending and the packaging, any kind of manufacturing batches, as well as the human's own nose. So one day you might have a nose block, one day you might have some allergy. So and maybe you smell something earlier and whatnot. All this can affect how much sweetness you feel. But to me, I find it's a very nicely blended sweetness. It's not too toxic or too, okay, sorry, toxic is not the word, too cloying, right? So I think it's a very reasonable sweetness compared to products like 1 million by Paco Rabanne, and maybe adding lots of rose also gives that sweet vibe in Paco Rabanne perfume. But in this JPG line, I feel it's very well handled. The sweetness well handled, so it's not blasting on your nose as some people claim. At least to me, it's like that. Otherwise, there are some so-called clones or cheaper versions of of these made by other brands. People always talk about Afnan 9 p.m. being a similar product to this, but how to say, original is also original, right? And then some people talk about Versace Eros being also another similar perfume, but I've smelled Eros before. I didn't really take, I mean, my nose didn't really like it so much, and I think that this is way better. JPG blending is way better. Of course, some people argue about the two corporations. I can't offhand remember the name, but at some point in time the JPG brand was taken over by second company. I'm sure the commenters would jump and give the name or the acronym of the companies before and after, and some people say that it's some people prefer the older one, some people prefer the newer versions and so on, but I don't know, man. I just I smelled it, it was lovely, right? It might be the badge or whatever it is. You smell it, you like it, you get it, right? Keep it simple, that's what I would say. So overall, how much marks I would give, this one was really pleasant, you know. I was just inhaling very deeply. It has this just mellow, sweet, but yet well blended smell that caused me to take a deep breath, you know. Most of the perfumes, especially the opening, right, I'll be cautious because the smell would really go up my nose sometimes, especially like Wawa Toss. Recently I had that experience, but this one was just very nice to inhale. Unless I decide to crack open this can or get another can and really wear it day to day, then I might give you my long-term impressions. But as of now, initial impression, I'm just loving it. In fact, I ended up getting La Parfum and this Ultra Male at the same time, because I just couldn't decide. Both were so good, and at that point the salesperson gave me Invictus Victory to try, and I was like, man, because, and then he said that, yeah, after your nose got used to these two so well put together fragrances, of course others will seem very very next lower level to you. So that's not to bash on Invictus Victory. I'm sure there are people who are fans of that Paco Rabanne product, but yeah, these two were like competing neck and neck, and I said, never mind, just get both. Come on, just get both. You're not going to regret it. And so I did. So my mark for this would be due to that, the fact that I feel it's so well done. Only drawback being that maybe it's a bit leaning towards the evening and night, colder weather. But I think certain characters can still pull it off in the office. If your office is not a very rigid, very strict place, right? If it's very traditional, very rigid place, then maybe they might how to say, turn their nose pun not intended on it. But more casual workplaces, I think it should be alright, and also depends on your own character as well. So with that, I give this a 4 out of 5. This might be a bit on the high side, but maybe long term I will revise my marks. Okay guys, that's it, my review of Ultra Male by JeanPaulGaultier. nanti bila